Okay, we're back. Wasn't it chapter 14? Hmm. Okay. So, it was verse 2. Thank you, Lord. Amen. So, chapter 14, verse 2. Their inheritance was by lot, just as the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moses, for the 9½ tribes. For Moses had given an inheritance to the 2½ tribes beyond the Jordan. But to the Levites he gave no inheritance among them, for the people of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and no one portion was given to the Levites in the land, but only cities to dwell in, with their pasture lands for their livestock and their subsistence. The people of Israel did as the Lord commanded Moses. They allotted the land. Then the people of Judah came to Joshua at Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Jephunneh the Kenizzite said to him, "You know what the Lord said to Moses the man of God in Kadesh Barnea concerning you and me. I was 40 years old when Moses the servant of the Lord sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought him word again, as it was in my heart. But my brothers who went up with me made the heart of the people melt. Yet I wholly followed the Lord my God. And Moses swore on that day, saying, Surely the land on which your foot has trodden shall be an inheritance for you and your children forever, because you have wholly followed the Lord my God. And now, behold, the Lord has kept me alive, just as he said, these 45 years since the time that the Lord spoke this word to Moses, while Israel walked in the wilderness. And now, behold, I am this day 85 years old. I am still as strong today as I was in the day that Moses sent me. My strength now is as my strength was then, for war and for going and coming. So now give me this hill country of which the Lord spoke on that day. For you heard in that day how the Anakim were there, with great fortified cities. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I shall drive them out, just as the Lord said." Then Joshua blessed him, and he gave Hebron to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, for an inheritance. Therefore Hebron became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, to this day, because he wholly followed the Lord, the God of Israel. Now the name of Hebron formerly was Kiriath Arba. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim, and the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. The allotment for the tribe of the people of Judah, according to their clans, reached southward to the boundary of Edom, to the wilderness of Zin at the farthest south. And their south boundaries ran from the end of the Salt Sea, from the bay that faces southward. It goes out southward of the ascent of Akrabim, passes along the Zin, and goes up south of Kadesh Barnea, along by Hezron, up to Adar, turns about to Karka, passes along to Asmon, goes out by the brook of Egypt, and comes to its end at the sea. This shall be your south boundary, and the east boundary is the Salt Sea, to the mouth of the Jordan, and the boundary of the north side runs from the bay of the sea at the mouth of the Jordan. So it's a lot of water that they have access to, or he has access to. And the boundary goes up to Beth Halag, goes up to Beth Hagla and passes along north of Beth Araba. And the boundary goes up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. And the boundary goes up to Debir from the valley of Achor. And so northward, turning toward Gilgal, which is opposite the ascent of Adamim, which is on the south side of the valley. And the boundary passes along to the waters of En Shemesh and ends at En Rogel. Then the boundary goes up by the valley of the son of Hinnom at the southern shoulder of the Jebusite, that is Jerusalem. And the boundary goes up to the top of the mountain that lies over against the valley of Hinnom. The valley of Hinnom, on the west at the northern end of the valley of Rephaim. Then the boundary extends from the Then the boundary extends from the top of the mountain to the spring of the water of Nephtoah, and from there to the cities of Mount Ephron. Then the boundary bends around to Bala, that is Kiriath Jearim, and the boundary circles west of Bala to Mount Seir, passing along the northern shoulder of Mount Jearim, that is Chesalon, and goes down to Beth Shemesh and passes along by Tibnah. The boundary goes out to the shoulder of the hill north of Ekron. Then the boundary bends around Shikron and passes along the Mount Bala and goes out to Jabneel. Then the boundary comes to an end at the sea. And the west boundary was the great sea with its coastline. This is the boundary around the people of Judah, according to their clans. According to the commandment of the Lord to Joshua, he gave to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, a portion among the people of Judah, Kiriath Arba, that is Hebron. Arba was the father of the Anak. And Caleb drove out from there the three sons of Anak, Sheshai and Ahiman and Talmai, the descendants of Anak. And he went up from there against the inhabitants of Debir. Now the name of Debir formerly was Kiriath Sepher. And Caleb said, whoever strikes Kiriath Sepher and captures it, to him will I give Aksah, my daughter, as wife. That is a pretty name. Now, 17. And Othniel, the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, captured it, and he gave him Aksah, his daughter, as wife. When she came to him, she urged him to go and ask her father for a field. And she got off her donkey, and Caleb said to her, what do you want? She said to him, give me a blessing. Since you have given me the land of the Negeb, give me also springs of water. And he gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Judah, according to their clans. The cities belonging to the tribe of the people of Judah in the extreme south toward the boundary of Edom were Kabzeel, Eder, Jagur, Kena, Damina, Ada, Kadesh, Hazor, Ethnon, Ziph, Telem, Beloth, Hazor Hadah, Hazor Hadattah, Kiriath Hezron, that is Hazor, Amam, Shema, Moladah, Azar, Gadah, Heshmon, Beth Pelet, Hazar Shul, Beersheba, Bizanthia, or Biziothia, Bala, Ezem, Eltalad, Chezel, Hormah, Ziklag, Madmana, Sansana, Leboth, Shilhim, Ain, and Rimmon. In all, 29 cities with their villages. And in the lowland, Eshtal, Zorah, Ashna, Anoah, Enganim, Tapua, Enam, Jarmuth, Adullam, Zoko, Azekah, Sharam, Aditham, Jedgarathium, 14 cities with their villages. Zanan, Hadasha, Migdal, Gad, Delim, Mizpah, Jokthel, Lachish, Bozkath, Eglon, Kaban, Lamam, Chitlish, Gederoth, Beth Dagon, Nama, and Makkedah, 16 cities with their villages. Libnah, Ether, Ashan, Ipna, Ashna, Nezib, Kilia, Akzib, and Mareshah, 9 cities with their villages. Ekron with its towns and its villages. Okay. From Ekron to the sea, all that were by the side of Ashdod with their villages. Ashdod, its towns and its villages. Gaza, its towns and its villages. To the brook of Egypt and the great sea with its coastline. And in the hill country, Shamir, Jatir, Soko, Danah, Kiriath Sana, that is Debir, Anab, Eshtemo, Anim, Goshen, Holan, Galoah, 11 cities with their villages. Arab, Duma, Eshan, Janim, Beth Tapua, Afekah, Humta, Kiriath Araba. This is Hebron and Zior, 9 cities with their villages. Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Jetta, Jezreel, Joktam, Nanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages. Halho, Beth Zur, Gedor, Marath, Beth Anan, and Eltekon, 6 cities with their villages. Kiriath Baal, that is Kiriath Jearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness, Beth Araba, Midden, Sekah, Nibshan, the city of salt, and Engedi, 6 cities with their villages. But the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the people of Judah, could not drive out. So the Jebusites dwell with the people of Judah at Jerusalem to this day. The allotment of the people of Joseph went from the Jordan by Jericho, east of the waters of Jericho, into the wilderness, going up from Jericho into the hill country to Bethel, then going from Bethel to Luz. It passes along the Adaroth, the territory of the Archites. Then it goes down westward to the territory of the Japhletites, as far as the territory of Lower Beth Horon, then to Gezer, and it ends at the sea. The people of Joseph, Manasseh, and Ephraim received their inheritance. The territory of the people of Ephraim by their clans was as follows. The boundary of their inheritance on the east was Adaroth Adar, as far as Upper Beth Horon, and the boundary goes from there to the sea. On the north is Mikmahath. Then on the east, the boundary turns around toward Tanath, Shiloh, and passes along beyond it on the east to Genoa, and it goes down from Genoa to Adaroth and to Nara, and touches Jericho, ending at the Jordan. From Tapua, the boundary goes westward to the brook Kana, and ends at the sea. Such is the inheritance of the tribes of the people of Ephraim by their clans, together with the towns that were set apart for the people of Ephraim within the inheritance of the Manassites, all those towns with their villages. However, they did not drive out the Canaanites who lived in Gezer. So the Canaanites had lived in the midst of Ephraim to this day, but have been made to do forced labor. Chapter 17, verse 1. Then allotment was made to the people of Manasseh, for he was the firstborn of Joseph, to Machir, the firstborn of Manasseh, the father of Gilead, were allotted Gilead and Bashan, because he was a man of war. And allotments were made to the rest of the people of Manasseh by their clans: Abiezer, Helek, Azrael, Shechem, Hepher, and Shemida. These were the male descendants of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, by their clans. Now Zelophehad, the son of Hepher, son of Gilead, son of Machir, son of Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters. And these are the names of his daughters: Mahlah, Noah, Haglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They approached Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun and the leaders, and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance along with our brothers. So according to the mouth of the Lord, he gave them an inheritance among the brothers of their father. Thus there fell to Manasseh 10 portions, besides the land of Gilead and Bashan, which is on the other side of the Jordan, because the daughters of Manasseh received an inheritance along with his sons. The land of Gilead was allotted to the rest of the people of Manasseh. The territory of Manasseh reached from Asher to Mikmathath, which is east of Shechem. Then the boundary goes along southward to the inhabitants of Antupua. The land of Tappuah belonged to Manasseh, but the town of Tappuah and the boundary of Manasseh belonged to the people of Ephraim. Then the boundary went down to the brook Kanah. These cities to the south of the brook, among the cities of Manasseh, belonged to Ephraim. Then the boundary of Manasseh goes on the north side of the brook and ends at the sea. Okay, the land to the south being Ephraim, and that to the north being Manasseh, with the sea forming its boundary. On the north, Asher is reached, and on the east, Issachar. Also in Issachar and in Asher, where Manasseh hath Beth Shean and its villages, and Ibleam and its villages, and the inhabitants of Dor and its villages, and the inhabitants of Endor and its villages, and the inhabitants of Tanakh and its villages, and the inhabitants of Megiddo and its villages. The third is Naphath. Yet the people of Manasseh could not take possession of those cities, but the Canaanites persisted in dwelling in the land. Now, when the people of Israel grew strong, they put the Canaanites to forced labor, but did not utterly drive them out. Then the people of Joseph spoke to Joshua, saying, Why have you given me but one lot and one portion as an inheritance, although I am a numerous people, since all along the Lord has blessed me? And Joshua said to them, If you are a numerous people, go up by yourselves to the forest, and there clear ground for yourselves in the land of the Perizzites and the Rephaim, since the hill country of Ephraim is too narrow for you. The people of Joseph said, The hill country is not enough for us. Yet all the Canaanites who dwell in the plain have chariots of iron, both of those in Beth Shean and its villages, and those in the valley of Jezreel. Then Joshua said to the house of Joseph, to Ephraim and Manasseh, You are a numerous people and have great power. You shall not have one allotment only, but the hill country shall be yours. For though it is a forest, you shall clear it and possess it to its farthest borders. For you shall drive out the Canaanites, though they have chariots of armor, and though they are strong. Okay. Chapter 18, verse 1. Then the whole congregation of the people of Israel assembled at Shiloh, and set up the tent of meeting there. The land lay subdued before them. There remained among the people of Israel 7 tribes whose inheritance had not yet been apportioned. So Joshua said to the people of Israel, How long will you put off going in to take possession of the land which the Lord, the God of your fathers, has given you? Provide 3 men from each tribe, and I will send them out, that they may set out and go up and down the land. They shall write a description of it with a view of their inheritance, and then come to me. They shall divide it into 7 portions. Judah shall continue in his territory on the south, and the house of Joseph shall continue in their territory on the north. And you shall describe the land in 7 divisions, and bring the description here, and I will cast lots for you here before the Lord our God. The Levites have no portion among you, for the priesthood of the Lord is their heritage. And Gad and Reuben and half the tribe of Manasseh have received their inheritance beyond the Jordan eastward, which Moses, the servant of the Lord, gave them. So the men arose and went, and Joshua charged those who went to write the description of the land, saying, Go up and down in the land, and write a description, and return to me, and I will cast lots for you here before the Lord in Shiloh. So the men went and passed up and down in the land, and wrote in a book a description of it by towns in 7 divisions. Then they came to Joshua to the camp of Shiloh. And Joshua cast lots for them in Shiloh before the Lord. And there Joshua apportioned the land to the people of Israel, to each his portion. The lot of the tribe of the people of Benjamin, according to its clans, came up, and the territory allotted to it fell between the people of Judah and the people of Joseph. On the north side, their boundary began at the Jordan. Then the boundary goes up to the shoulder north of Jericho, then up through the hill country westward. It ends at the wilderness of Beth Aven. From there, the boundary passes along southward in the direction of Luz to the shoulder of Luz, that is Bethel. Then the boundary goes down to Adaroth Adar, on the mountain that lies south of lower Beth Horon. Then the boundary goes in another direction, turning on the west side, southward from the mountain that lies to the south, opposite Beth Horon, and it ends at Kiriath Baal. That is Kiriath Jearim, a city belonging to the people of Judah. This forms the western side. And the southern side begins at the outskirts of Kiriath Jearim. And the boundary goes from there to Ephraim, to the spring of the waters of Nephtoah. Then the boundary goes down to the border of the mountain that overlooks the valley of the son of Hinnom, which is at the north end of the valley of Rephaim. And it then goes down the valley of Hinnom, south of the shoulder of the Jebusites, and downward to Engrol. Then it bends in a northerly direction, going on to En-Shemesh, and from there goes to Gililoth, which is opposite the ascent of Adumim. Then it goes down to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben, and passes on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Arabah. It goes down to the Arabah. Then the boundary passes on to the north of the shoulder of Beth Hoglah, and the boundary ends at the northern bay of the Salt Sea, at the south end of the Jordan. This is the southern border. The Jordan forms its boundary on the eastern side. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, boundary by boundary all around. Now the cities of the tribe of the people of Benjamin, according to their clans, were Jericho, Beth Hoglah, Emekazes, Beth Arba, Zimmerim, Bethel, Aviv, Para, Ophrah, Shafar, Amani, Aphi, Geba, 12 cities with their villages, Gibeon, Ramah, Barath, Mizpah, Shephirah, Moza, Rechem, Irpeel, Tarala, Zela, Halef, Jebus, or Jebus. That is that is Jerusalem. Gibeah and Kiriath Jearim, 14 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Benjamin according to its clans. Chapter 19. The second lot came out for Simon. For the tribe of the people of Simon, according to their clans and their inheritance, was in the midst of the inheritance of the people of Judah. And they had for their inheritance Beersheba, Sheba, Moladah, Hazar, Shul, Bala, Ezim, Eltolad, Bethol, Hormah, Ziklag, Markaboth, Hazar Susa, Beth Laboa, and Sharuheh, 13 cities with their villages. Ain, Ramon, Ether, and Ashan, 4 cities with their villages. Together with all the villages around these cities, as far as Balath Beer, Ramah of the Negeb, this was the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Simeon, according to their clans. The inheritance of the people of Simeon formed part of the territory of the people of Judah, because of the portion of the people of Judah was too large for them. The people of Simeon obtained an inheritance in the midst of their inheritance. The third lot came up for the people of Zebulun, according to their clans, and the territory of the inheritance reached as far as Sarid. Then their boundary goes up westward and on to Meril and touches Dabasheth. Then the brook that is east of Jokneam. From Sarid, it goes in the other direction eastward toward the sunrise to the boundary of Chisloth Tabor. From there it goes to Dabereth, then up to Japhia. From there it passes along on the east toward the sunrise to Gath-Hefer, to Eth-Kazin, and going on to Ramon, it bends toward Nea. Then on the north, the boundary turns about to Hanathon, and it ends at the valley of Iftahel, and Katath, Nahalal, Shimron, Idlah, and Bethlehem, 12 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the people of Zebulun, according to their clans. These cities with their villages. The fourth lot came out to Issachar. 1 second. Okay, I do. The fourth lot came out for Issachar, for the people of Issachar, according to their clans. Their territory included Jezreel, Chesulloth, Shunem, Haphraim, Shean, Anaharath, Rabith, Kishion, Abez, that's separate, Kishion, Abez, Rameth, Enganim, Enhadah, Beth Pazez. The boundary also touches Tabor, Shahazimah, and Beth Shemesh, and its boundaries ends at the Jordan, 16 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Issachar, according to their clans, the cities with their villages. The fifth lot came out for the tribe of the people of Asher, according to their clans. Their territory included Helkath, Hali, Batin, Akshaph, Alamanlek, and Amad, and Mishal, On the west, it touches Carmel and Shahor Libnath. Then it turns eastward. It goes to Beth Dagon and touches Zebulun and the valley of Iftahel northward to Bethemech and Neiel. Then it continues in the north to Kabul, Ebron, Rahab, Haman, Kanah, as far as Sidon the Great. Then the boundary turns to Ramah, reaching to the fortified city of Tyre. Then, the boundary turns to Hosa, and it ends at the sea. Mahalab, Akzib, Uma, Aphek, and Rehob, 22 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Asher, according to their clans, these cities with their villages. The sixth lot came out for the people of Naphtali. For the people of Naphtali, according to their clans, and their boundary ran from Heleph, from the oak of Zananim, and Adami Nekeb, and Jabneel, as far as Lakam, and it ended at the Jordan. Then the boundary turns westward to Asnath Tabor and goes from there to Hukok, touching Zebulun at the south, and Asher on the west, and Judah on the east at the Jordan. The fortified cities are Ziddim, Zir, Hamath, Rakath, Chinnereth, Admah, Ramah, Hazor, Kadesh, Edrei, and Hazor, Yaran, Migdal, Horem, Bethanath, and Beth Shemesh, 19 cities with their villages. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Naphtali, according to their clans, the cities with their villages. The seventh lot came out for the tribe of the people of Dan, according to their clans, and the territory of its inheritance included Zorah, Eshtal, Irshemesh, Shalabin, Ajalon, Ithla, Elon, Timnah, Ekron, Eltekeh, Gibbethon, Balath, Jehud, Meneberek, Gath-Ramon, and Mejarkon, and Rachon, with the territory over against Joppa. When the territory of the people of Dan was lost to them, the people of Dan went up and fought against Leshem, and after capturing it and striking it with the sword, they took possession of it and settled in it, calling Leshem Dan, after the name of Dan, their ancestor. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the people of Dan, according to their clans, these cities with their villages. When they had finished distributing the several territories of the land as inheritances, the people of Israel gave an inheritance among them to Joshua the son of Nun. By command of the Lord, they gave him the city that he asked. Timnath-Serah in the hill country of Ephraim, and he rebuilt the city and settled in it. See, they were skilled. They rebuilt the city. They knew how to do those things. These are the inheritance that Eleazar the priests and Joshua the son of Nun and the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel distributed by lot at Shiloh before the Lord at the inheritance of the tent of meeting. So they finished dividing the land. Okay, So this here is chapter 22. Then the Lord said to Joshua, say to the people of Israel, appoint the cities of refuge of which I spoke to you through Moses, that the manslayer who strikes any person without intent or unknowingly may flee there. They shall be for you a refuge from the avenger of blood. Uh, so we know that we did deserve death. Um, we did deserve death, but Christ came and died on the cross for our sins, and he was like a refuge to us. Like this city here, he was like a city of refuge unto us. When we received the gift of salvation from what Christ did on the cross for us. And we were able to escape the wrath that God has for sin because of Christ. So the Lord Jesus Christ is a refuge to us. God is a refuge to us. Bless the Lord. Verse 4, he shall flee to one of these cities and shall stand. And shall stand at the entrance of the gate of the city and explain his case to the elders of that city. Then they shall take him into the city and give him a place, and he shall remain with them. And if the avenger of blood pursues him, they shall not give up the manslayer into his hand, because he struck his neighbor unknowingly and did not hate him in the past. And he shall remain in that city until he has stood before the congregation for judgment. Verse 6, and he shall remain in that city until he had stood before the congregation for judgment, until the death of him who is high priest at the time. Then until the death of him who is high priest at the time. Then the manslayer may return to his own town and his own home, to the town from which he fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee, in the hill country of Naphtali, and in Shechem, in the hill country of Ephraim, and Kiriath Arba. This is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, and beyond the Jordan, east of Jericho. They appointed Bezer in the wilderness on the tableland, from the tribe of Reuben, and Ramoth in Gilead from the tribe of Gad, and Golan in Bashan from the tribe of Manasseh. These were the cities designated for all the people of Israel and for the strangers sojourning among them, that anyone who killed a person without intent could flee there, so that he might not die by the hand of the avenger of blood till he stood before the congregation. Chapter 21. Then the heads of the fathers' houses of the Levites came to Eleazar the priest and to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers, uh, and to Joshua the sons of Nun, and to the heads of the fathers' houses of the tribes of the people of Israel. And they said to them at Shiloh, in the land of Canaan, the Lord commanded through Moses that we be given cities to dwell in, along with their pasture lands for our livestock. So by command of the Lord, the people of Israel gave the Levites the following cities and pasture lands out of their inheritance. The lot came out for the clans of the Kohathites. So these Levites, who were descendants of Aaron, the priests, received by lot from the tribes of Judah, Simeon, and Benjamin 13 cities, and the rest of the Kohathites received by lot from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, from the tribe of Dan, and the half tribe of Manasseh, 10 cities. The Girgashites received by lot from the clans of the tribe of Issachar, from the tribe of Asher, from the tribe of Naphtali, and from the half tribe of Manasseh in Bashan, 13 cities. The Meriites, according to their clans, received from the tribe of Reuben, the tribe of Gad, and the tribe of Zebulun, 12 cities. These cities and their pasture lands the people of Israel gave by lot to the Levites, as the Lord had commanded through Moses, out of the tribe of the people of Judah and the tribe of the people of Simeon. They gave the following cities, mentioned by name, which went to the descendants of Aaron, one of the clans of the Kohathites, who belonged to the people of Levi, since the lot fell to them first. They gave them Kiriath Arba, Arba being the father of Anak, that is Hebron, in the hill country of Judah, along with the pasture lands around it. But the fields of the city and its villages had been given to Caleb the son of Jephunneh as his possession. And to the descendants of Aaron, the priests, they gave Hebron, the city of refuge for the manslayer, with its pasture lands, Libnah with its pasture lands, Jatir with its pasture lands, Eshtemoa with its pasture lands, Holon with its pasture lands, Debir with its pasture lands, Ain with its pasture lands, Juttah with its pasture lands, that's Guttah, with its pasture lands, Beth Shemesh with its pasture lands, 9 cities out of these 2 tribes. Then out of the tribe of Benjamin, Gibeon with its pasture lands, Geba with its pasture lands, Anathoth with its pasture lands, and Almon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. The cities of the descendants of Aaron, the priests, were in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. As to the rest of the Kohathites, belonging to the Kohathite clans of the Levites, the cities allotted to them were out of the tribe of Ephraim. And to them were given Shechem, the city of refuge for the manslayer, with its pasture lands in the hill country of Ephraim, Gezer with its pasture lands, Kibzam with its pasture lands, Beth Horon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Dan, Eltekeh with its pasture lands, Gibbethon with its pasture lands, Ajalon with its pasture lands, Gathrimmon with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Tanakh with its pasture lands, and Gathrimmon with its pasture lands, 2 cities. The cities of the clans of the rest of the Kohathites were 10 in all with their pasture lands, and to the Girgashites, one of the clans of the Levites, were given out of the half tribe of Manasseh, Golan in Bashan with its pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, and Beshtera with its pasture lands, 2 cities. Now, and out of the tribe of Issachar, Kishion with its pasture lands, Deberath with its pasture lands, Jarmuth with its pasture lands, En-Ganim with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Asher, Mishal with its pasture lands, Abdon with its pasture lands, Kelkath with its pasture lands, and Rehob with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Naphtali, Kadesh in Galilee with its pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, Hamath-dor with its pasture lands, and Kartan with its pasture lands, 3 cities. The cities of the several clans of the the cities of the several clans of the Gershonites were in all 13 cities with their pasture lands. To the rest of the Levites, the Merarite clans, were given out of the tribe of Zebulun, Jokneam with its pasture lands, Karta with its pasture lands, Dimnah with its pasture lands, Nahalal with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribes of Reuben, Benzer with its pasture lands, Jahaz with its pasture lands, Kedemoth with its pasture lands, Mephoth with its pasture lands, 4 cities. And out of the tribe of Gad, Ramoth and Gilead with its pasture lands, the city of refuge for the manslayer, Mahananim with its pasture lands, Heshbon with its pasture lands, Jazer with its pasture lands, 4 cities in all. And for the cities of the several Merarite clans, that is, the remainder of the clans of the Levites, those allotted to them were in all 12 cities. The cities of the Levites in the midst of the possession of the people of Israel were in all 48 cities with their pasture lands. These cities each had its pasture lands around it. So it was with all these cities. Thus the Lord gave to Israel all the land that he swore to give to their fathers, and they took possession of it, and they settled there. And the Lord gave them rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their fathers. Not one of all their enemies had withstood them, for the Lord had given all their enemies into their hands. Not one word of all the good promises that the Lord had made to the houses of Israel had failed. All came to pass. Okay, chapter 22. At that time, Joshua summoned the Reubenites and the Gadites and the half tribe of Manasseh, and said to them, You have kept all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded you, and have obeyed my voice in all that I have commanded you. You have not forsaken your brothers these many days, down to this day, but have been careful to keep the charge of the Lord your God. And now the Lord your God has given rest to your brothers. Okay, one second.